Sheikh Fatima, good evening. Good morning, rather. Ladi Shorunke, good morning. Rochelle White, morning. Daniel Asenga, good morning. Anne Marie, good morning. Paul David, morning. Fola Shade, good morning. Obi Ojimadu, good morning. Ojo Palumi, morning. Nkiro Ojimadu, morning. Amonike, good morning. Fumi Jaboda, good morning. Monica, Anastasia, good morning. Michael Lopez, Justin Mayo, morning. Dr. Bien Sufficient. Margarita Christopher, good morning. Nkem Dike, hello, good morning. Ayodeji, good morning. Stella Nuhu, Jide Craig. Well, as you are coming in, everyone, let's quickly go and begin to share the link to this message. I think this message is important. It's a continuation from yesterday. How to be of assistance to your wife before, during, and after delivery. Before delivery, during the delivery, and after delivery. So let's continue where we stopped. Let's quickly go and share the link to the message. Look under your video, you will see a button there. Let's quickly go and share it so that we'll begin on time. We got yesterday to a place whereby your wife is already in the hospital and all the arrangements have been done till she gets to the labor room. So we are talking today about what happens in the labor room, and from there to after she recovers from the delivery. Like I said yesterday, for a woman to give birth, she really needs a lot of assistance throughout that time of pregnancy. And she needs to be given all the help that she could be offered. Like I said, the delivery itself is a big test for the woman. It's a major, major trial. In fact, it is when you know these things that you begin to agree that maybe 50% of the people who actually go into marriage are not supposed to have anything to do with marriage. Both men and women, 50% are not supposed to even look in the direction of marriage. Marriage is not for anybody. It's not for lazy people, it's not for mediocres, and it's not for failures. The ability, unfortunately, the only criteria that people have been using for marriage these days is just age. That, okay, you have a marriage age, so you must go and find a partner. That is so sad and that's so primitive. Marriage should not be the only, age should not be the only reason and the only explanation for marriage. Marriage has to be something much more complex. Something much more holistic, because it's a thing that is very complex. It is very complex to live a successful married life, and there are a lot of things that are involved there. So if you are not aware of these things, and I personally think that qualification for marriage is only one: preparation. How prepared you are, how prepared are you, both men and women, to be able to see all the needs, to recognize all the needs that are connected, and all the situations that are connected to marriage life, and to be able to address them. So let's talk about delivery, for example. Can you believe it that just the process of delivery for the woman is like, 57 DEL of pain, 57 DEL of pain. And that is like, like having accident and breaking 27 bones in your body at the same time. It's like breaking 27 bones in the body. That's how a woman, feels during pregnancy, during labor, and during the delivery session. It's such a very big. It's actually like standing between life and death. It's like going through the valley of the shadow of death. Really, it's a big trial for the ladies, and so for a woman to be going through that kind of the most trying time of her life. I mean, people lose their lives. Maternal mortality is a reality anywhere in the world. People die when they are giving birth, both in Europe and America and Africa. Especially in Africa, it's worse. People die in the process of giving birth because it's not easy. It's one of the greatest challenges any person can face, one of the greatest amount of pain. The highest level of pain that normal human being endure is 47 del. 47 del. Let's say for example, toothache is just 5 del, and 47 del is the highest. 45 del is the highest level of pain that human being can go through that they could endure without going mad. But women that go through 57 del of pain, that is much more higher than what the maximum is for a human being. And that's what they experience when they're giving delivery during the time of. So can you imagine that at a time like that, the second person who was your partner in that pregnancy, the person who gave you the pregnancy, he would not be there, and maybe he's just doing his own thing, and he's not even aware of what you are going through. So it's not fair for the woman that the husband, who is supposed to be the father of that child that she's giving her life to give birth to, will not be there. So I think that a man must be at the place of delivery, at the labor with the wife, and not just be there present, but he must have also gone through the classes and the preparation and the prenatal classes so that he knows what to do to assist her. So I'm going to give you some of the reasons why a man has to be in labor, in the labor room with the wife. One of the reasons is that a lot of stories that when the nurses, because let me tell you what, the truth is that the nurses, both here in Europe and in America, and especially in Africa, the nurses, they are used to working in the hospital, and especially what do you call them, midwifery, the midwife nurses, they are used to delivering children all the time. So they are just looking at your wife as one of the patients. It's just like a patient, and they are just treating them like a work. In a day, for example, maybe they have to deliver 10, 20 children, or, and they are running, they're constantly running up and down, But, this is recorded, and I've tested everywhere. Each time the nurses come in and see that the husband is there, and the husband has done what he needed to do. He has spoken to them, he has loved them, he has shown them kindness, and he has, spoken to them nicely, and he has treated them well. The nurses begin to change their attitude. They change their attitude to your wife just because you are there with her, because she's not there alone. She's not there by herself. That support changes. Just that presence of a man makes the nurses and the midwives to sit down, straight, and to really take your wife more seriously. So, and the doctors as well. So there's many stories like this where sometimes even the nurses are not saying some things. They are not paying attention to some things because they are so busy. Even at the same time, there might be 2 or 3 other people giving birth. And so they are going from there to there. But you are concentrating only on your wife. And then you could even see some of the things that they are not noticing and then call their attention to some things. So it's always a good thing for a husband to be there for the wife. And then psychologically, that is a very big help for that woman. That, okay, my husband is here. And I don't know if this happens where you are or not, but do you know that there are some cases where children could be misplaced or mistaken for other children? Because in some cases, all the children, after they are delivered, they are taken away to be taken care of by the doctors in a certain hall, and they are given some names or numbers. And sometimes some people they mistakenly give the other parents their people's other children, and Sometimes you might not even realize it. So, you have to be there to oversee all these things that your wife is taking care of, your child is taking care of. And so, what are the things that a man is supposed to do during labor? What are you doing in the labor room apart from being of assistance, giving psychological help, and encouraging the doctors to do their work? So, what are the other things that a man is supposed to be doing when the wife is in labor? One, when your wife is in labor, you can help her. First of all, you can give her words of encouragement. While she's in labor, speak word of life to her. Encourage her. Praise her, love her, let her know that your help is there. Kind words will really be helpful at that time. She needs all the help that she can get. Any woman that has been in labor will tell you she needs all kind of help that she can. She doesn't even know how much she needs them. Number two, another thing you can do while your wife is in labor and she's going through that process is to be praying for her. And when she sees that you are praying for her and that you are raising your voice in prayer and you are the husband, that is so matchless. That is so, unbelievably wonderful. Then the next thing you could do is to actually remind her some of the classes that you have taken. The classes that the training, the prenatal classes and the training that you went through with her, how to, how to breathe, how to stretch, how to push and all those things. Sometimes she could forget because she's having so much pain and she's so much panicky. She loses the orientation completely. So that's why you are there to be able to remind us of some of the principles that have been taught to you during your prenatal class. And so that's another area that you could, you could be of assistance to your wife. Next thing that you could do as a husband near a woman that is giving birth to the hospital is that you could actually do massage for her. Do massage for her because that's one of the things that you are also taught in the prenatal class. There are some points and joints in the spine that you can actually be massaging and you could be pressing and that is important. So you could be praying for her, massaging her, telling her some of the things that you've learned and that will be able to help her. And sometimes you can even do simple things like just holding onto her hands, and sometimes that is enough. Just holding her hands and letting her, speaking the words of love to her, letting her know that you care and that she's not alone, and that you are giving her you are providing for her that covering, that stability, and that confidence that she needs. So actually, a lot of women have testified to the fact that when a father is there in the present at the birth of his child, that is easier for the wife. That the wife find it easier to go through the process of childbirth. Next point, another thing that you want to do as a father in the labor room is to be there when your child is coming out of the womb. And of course, it is the doctors that will receive, because they have the professional training to be able to receive that baby from the womb. But you have the right, and you could ask the doctors and actually agree with the doctors ahead of time that you want to be the one to cut the umbilical cord, that you want to cut the cord, that you want to cut that. Is it umbilical cord or what they call it? Umbilical cord. And that is even that cutting itself of that cord between that is holding the baby and the mother itself. That one alone, it does something for the child. That one alone brings a kind of closeness between you and that child. It's one thing for the doctors to be the one to cut the umbilical cord, but it's another thing to be the to be the father to cut that cord. If you are the one to cut it, if you the one who cut it, it's something else. It's totally fantastic, and it transfers something down to the subconscious of that baby. It transfers some information down. So and so it's something, such a thing of joy and pride when you as a father get to do that. And so this is something that an experience that you don't want to exchange for anything. Another thing that happens to you, apart from cutting the umbilical cord, is that you see your wife from another perspective. You begin to have compassion for that woman like nothing else. There is nothing that will make you to love your wife like giving birth. There is nothing that will make you to understand her and to have compassion and understanding for her like when she's giving birth. When she's giving birth is the most you will ever have feelings for her, because you will see all the things you will begin to respect her like nothing else, like no man business. And so every man is supposed to be in that place. And then the next thing after cutting the umbilical cord of that baby, the next thing you need to do is to carry the baby. And first of all, you need to put that baby on the chest of the mother, because the mother, the baby is coming from her, and the umbilical cord is cut. Then the first thing you need to do to honor that woman, that she had carried that baby on her chest, below her chest for the 9 months. You need to put that baby on top of her chest. Let her just feel what she had suffered for and what she had endured all that months and all those pains for. And you should be the one to put that baby on top of your wife's chest. And then after that, when she has tasted the baby and she has felt the heartbeat of the baby, and the baby has there's a connection between the mother and the baby, the next thing you need to do is to take the baby, to ask the doctors if you can now carry the baby in your hands. So next thing you do is to take the baby, to let the doctors might want to put some name or tag or something. They will do their own thing. But apart from the thing that the doctors are doing, after they do their own thing, before they carry the baby away to the court or something, just tell them that you need to carry the baby and pray for the baby. So then because they need to clean the baby will come out with some whitish covering all over her body. So they will clean the baby and things like that. But you will take the baby after that, and then you could begin to release words of prophecy, and you begin to prophesy upon the life of your child, and you prophesy into his destiny, you prophesy into his future, you prophesy what you want that child to become, and you release everything that God has planned for that child, and you destroy all works of the enemy upon his life, and you wage a war for the destiny of that child, for the future of that child. You meet the enemy at the gate for that baby, and you pronounce the right principles, the right truth of God's word upon that child while it was in your hand, because you are the father, you are the protection, you are the pillar, you are the foundation. And so that you should do that for your child. You own that to that child, and you own that to that mother too, and the mother will be happy that you are doing that, even though she's so tired, she wants to sleep or she just wants to rest. But she's hearing you praying like that, and that is doing something unbelievable, not just to the child but to the mother as well. Sometimes in some cases it might be just about this time that you might have the time to put the baby on top of your wife's chest. So in some cases you could have the opportunity to put the baby on her chest before she was cleansed and before, just after you cut the umbilical cord, or you could take her to your hand and pray for her first, and then put the baby on top of the of your wife. Okay. Now, then you have to go home because your wife will have to stay in the hospital for a day or two. That's a normal thing. So you kiss your wife, you love her, and you go away. And then when you come back the next day or 2 days later, make sure that you come with a bucket of flowers. You have to come with a bouquet of flower for your wife, of course. But it has to be the biggest bouquet that you have ever bought for her. It has to be the most memorable one. You have to go and pick that up and select the best one in the shop by yourself. Most likely, that's better for you to do that. And then after doing that, you don't just buy flowers for your wife, but make sure you buy flower for every midwife or every nurse or every doctor that participated in the process of delivering your child. So make sure you have a gift, some little gift. Make sure you have some little gifts for your children. For everybody that was there. So you could buy some chocolates for some people. You could buy some cosmetics for some ladies there. Anything you could buy, anything you can afford, buy, especially flowers for the ladies that are there. Make sure you buy some things to just appreciate all the people. Sometimes they will not be on duty, but at least there will be one of them that will be on duty, and they could pass your gift across to just appreciate everything that they all did to help your child come to this world. Then, when it's time for you when you go and collect your wife from the hospital, don't just go with a flower, with a bouquet of flower, all right? For example, in the last time that our baby, let me start from the first one. The first child that we had, I was still a poor pastor. I was just starting, so I didn't have money. But the highest amount of money that I had, my biggest saving at that particular point, I went and used it to buy the most expensive gift I could afford. I went and bought a very expensive gift, and I brought it to the hospital for her. And, that was like, the highest I could gather. So it's not about the amount of money, right? It's about how much you could afford. But, make sure that you don't just, make sure that you have a gift. You plan for, if your wife is pregnant for 9 months, for that 9 months, you should think about what gift can you give her to just say thank you to her, to just honor her, to just show to her and prove to her that she's unusual, that she's special, that you appreciate her sacrifice. It has to be a gift that will make you. It has to be a gift that will speak for you, a gift that will communicate your heartfelt gratitude to her. For that gift has to express your gratitude for her for the 9 months of pain, 9 months of pregnancy, 9 months of patience, perseverance that she had to go through by carrying that baby under her chest. So that gift has to be the most important. Okay, for example, in the case of my wife, the first gift I bought was something that was just costing $1,000, right, at that time. But that was in the 90s. That was my baby. That child now is 19-year-old, so it's like 20 years ago, and I didn't have enough money yet. But so I bought her a winter coat that was costing me my biggest savings that time. So, and it was in winter she gave birth, so that was very good. I brought it right to the hospital. Then the second child, when we gave birth to the second baby, I had more money. So I went to look for, of course, while she was in the hospital, that I was spending the whole time in the going from one store to the other to buy her. The next gift I bought was already 3 times more expensive. So it was already, what do you call it, jewelry. It was jewelry, expensive jewelry, or really natural jewelry. And that was what I bought for her, because I knew that the second child we were going to have was a baby, a girl. So that was the second gift. But it was the greatest I could get. I mean, all my savings for that time as well, because I needed to do something for her that I never did before, something that is much more bigger than anything I did giving her on a regular basis. So for your wife too, apart from paying the hospital bills and all those things, you need to give her personal gift, something personal from you, from the husband, and tell her that, Princess, I appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you for giving me this gift of this child. Thank you for giving us this gift of this child. Thank you for, going through the pain of this labor. Thank you for all the sacrifice that you went through. This is my personal gift as your husband to you for doing that. So I think every man, every husband has to make such a such a gesture of goodwill to the wife. You have to give her something special. So for the third child that we bought, for the third child, when we were having our third child, I was already better off as a pastor and as a human being. So I was able to buy her a car. She had a car we had a car. I had a car, she had a car before then. But this was a car specially for her, for the child that she gave birth to. So this was an extra car for her, because she wanted a smaller car, a car that she could drive sometimes if she wanted. But she didn't know. Each time of this, I never discussed these things with her, and she never knew. So this was just my own way of recognizing her, recognizing her sacrifice, our labor, our pain, and the very valley of the shadow of death that she had to go through. So, now after giving her that gift, all these gifts that, Pearl said they call it push out gift in America. Push out gift. Well, I never heard of that, but I just know that's what she's supposed to do. So after bringing her home, bringing her home, of course, you must have make sure that everything is ready at home. Please don't bring your wife home and expecting her to go to the kitchen and go and cook. Now, I beg you, don't do that to her. Make sure that you have a maid there waiting, so that will be cooking for her for the next 2-3 weeks, or better still, at least for the next 3 months, so that she will not need to wash anything in the next 3 months, that she will not need to wash any diapers or any underwear or any children clothes, or go to the kitchen or cook anything. Just make her sleep. Just make her sleep. Just make sure that she sleeps and she rests very well. Because a woman that has given birth, she is going through a period of shock. Either you like it or not, she is experiencing a horrible shock. She is going through, she's in another world. She's not even in herself. She cannot even come to her senses. She has not even come to her senses. For a woman to come to her senses after delivery, at least minimum three months must pass for her just to come back to normal. So she needs to just be given time to rest. She needs to be given opportunity to just recover. And for her to recover, she cannot recover when she has to be doing all kind of work that she used to do before. So what you would do to her is that you make sure that she's not, because after she comes back from work, you will discover that she got another job that she never had before then. After she comes back from labor room, The work is the work of breastfeeding. Oh, breastfeeding, my God. I never knew that breastfeeding is a big job like that. Breastfeeding is one of the most difficult parts of childbirth. Breastfeeding is, women might think that breastfeeding is just easy. It's just making the baby eat. Oh, my. Oh, my, women are going to start. So when I tell you that, for me, I don't want my wife to work or to struggle or to do anything that I don't want her to. I want to give her everything, protect her and give her, because I see what they go through. Because, and for me, for us men, ordinary things like breastfeeding. Do you know that for some women is even more difficult than the labor itself? That just breastfeeding alone could be more difficult for some women than the labor itself. Because in some cases, breastfeeding, the milk might not be enough, or it might not be coming out. In some cases, the milk might be too much. In some cases, all kind of complications. The baby might be biting the breast, the nipple of the mother, all kind, and then she has to be breastfeeding like 3 times a day, and maybe more, maybe 6 times a day, all kind of wounds, all kind of damages to the body of the woman. Oh, my God. In some cases, in fact, you need to help her get somebody to massage her breast. Because some people's breasts might be too full of milk, or it might not be coming out, or it might be too hard or stiff. So you need to massage that breast. You will not know how to do it, but there might be some nurses or women that might have the experience in doing that. You might need to get somebody to massage not just the breast, but massage the back for her, and then massage her stomach, and to all kind of things that she needs to when you think that when your wife gives birth, that is the end, or she had delivered, that is the end of the process. Really, that is the beginning. Because when she comes back home, you will discover that she needs to sleep, by the way, on one hand. On the other hand, she needs to be breastfeeding. How can she be sleeping and breastfeeding? And so what I teach in our church here, and what I did, and this is what I teach in our church here, is that they have this the bottle where the woman can put some of the milk. So wisdom says that the woman must make sure that she after she feeds the baby, she should immediately what do we call, there's a word we use in Russian language. I can't. Put some extra put some milk, the extra milk that is coming after feeding the baby. She must make sure that she fills the 1 bottle or maybe 2 bottles, any amount that she could put. So she pulls down that milk in the bottle, in the baby bottle, and then goes to breast pump. She could pump breast pump the baby. The breast, put the milk for one and the other, and then let the baby sleep. So while the baby is sleeping, she too must go and sleep. Now, normally, the way it comes is, normally in the next 3 hours, that baby will wake up to eat again. So by the time the baby wakes up to eat in the next 3 hours, every 3 hours, a child wakes up to eat. So by the time he wakes up in the next 3 hours, you don't wake your wife up to come out. The baby is up, or wake up, or no. Don't touch her. Make sure you don't wake her up. And the reason why you should not touch her and you don't wake her up is that, you have the milk. You remember she has put some extra milk there. So let her sleep. She must sleep. Make sure that she sleeps for at least the next 6 hours straight. So instead of waking her up, you are going to see the baby. Make sure the baby doesn't cry. Give the baby the milk, carry the baby and let the baby feed from the bottle rather than from the breast directly. And then the baby falls asleep when it finishes eating. Then you put the baby to sleep back, because it goes back to sleep, while your wife, of course, is still resting. And then the next 3 hours, the baby will cry again, want to eat again, and then she might be already ready to wake up after she has gotten 6 hours of the rest sleep. And that is what you have to do every night. This is what you have to do every single night. So you must make sure that your wife has at least 6 hours of sleep, and with uninterrupted sleep. Uninterrupted sleep. So what happens is that every 3 hours, every 3 hours is when so you just do what we call queue. You queue. So for the first 3 hours, the first, let's say from 9, your husband, your wife is the one that is feeding. Then 3 hours time you wake up. Then in the next 3 hours she wakes up. Then the next 3 hours you wake up. Then the next 3 hours she wake up. So that is every 3 hours you exchange with your wife. So she could wake up by the time because you have exchanged 3 hours with her, taking the 3 hour in the middle, she has 6 hours of sleep. Then you could also go and sleep. That way you have 6 hours of sleep as well. And then the interval in the 3 hours, she takes it. And so that's the way, you are supposed to manage your family to make things easier. But if you have money and you have a maid or an assistant or housewife, somebody that you'll be able to do that, then you might not need to do that, especially if you are going to work. It might be difficult for you to. So it might be something that you want to get somebody, if you have the money, or if the mother, or you can afford somebody to be living with you in the house to help do all that. That will relieve you as a man of a lot of trouble. But make sure that she's not washing things, she's not cooking, she's not doing laundry, she's not, just give her what she wants to eat. Buy some products and some fruits and some vegetable and organic food, things that will help to strengthen her body and to help her body recover, and things that will help her to supply the right food and the right nutrients to our body, and things that will make her to recover, things that will help her to recover faster. So sometimes the help that she needs after the delivery, when she comes back home, might even be much more serious than the help that she needed before the delivery. There is what they call postnatal. Is it postnatal syndrome? And the postnatal syndrome is all kind of psychosis that happen to women after delivery. 10% of every woman during delivery actually end up in psychiatric hospital. 10% of every woman that participates in delivery lose their mind. So it is because of the pressure and the weight and the stress of delivery is so much that some people's organism and body cannot stand it. So some people, almost 90% of women go through postnatal depression. 90% of women go through postnatal depression. But some of them get worse, and to the extent that it goes to psychiatric hospital. They end up in psychiatric hospital. And this is because they have not been given enough care. And this is because they've not been given enough attention, enough love, enough assistance. Some women have to do everything after they've been delivered, and that's why they lose it. And some people get sick. Some people just lose their mind. Some people lose interest in life. Some people don't want to see wife again. They don't want to see their children again. Some people don't even want to see that child again, because that is bringing them a lot of painful memory and things like that. It's very difficult for the psyche to survive and to, it's a very stressful period for the psyche. And in some cases, some women experience tears physically when, some children are big. So some women give birth, they have to give birth using cesarean section or operation or surgery. That is one thing. That is one. But there are some women that they don't use cesarean. They are not using surgery, but they might be experiencing tears, tears or a little cut, and so that is another pain on its own. And then some women cannot walk normally after that. It has to be healed. It will take time for her to be healed, and so a lot of changes happening to the body of the woman after delivery. And of course, most of the women experience what do you call it, stretching of even during pregnancy. You experience stretch because, like for example, men must know this because I was not told this. I didn't know this, and I think men should know this. Even some women don't know this. Even my wife never knew this. She didn't know what was happening. So when the stomach is getting big, especially when you are slim. Like my wife used to be slim and slender, so the body is expanding and stretching. So the growth of the baby is bringing about stretch in the body, in the tissues and the veins and of the body of your wife. So in most cases, there might be a line in the stomach like this. It's most likely there will be a line, and that line might not go away immediately. For some people, it's a line in the middle of the stomach, just like from top to down. And in other cases, it might be a stretch marks all over the sides of the stomach. And for a woman that is used to seeing her body beautiful and lean and slim and beautiful and smooth, for her, that could be a depression factor already. That would be very disheartening. That could just break her heart. And for her to discover that she might never recover that thing again, that those things might never go again, or even before it goes, you have to go through all the, and then she has to be pregnant again. Then some men could come and use that as an excuse why they have to reject the woman. Some men now come and use that as an excuse to say she's no more beautiful. That's why I said after giving birth, no woman ever remains the same. She will never be able to compete to the level that she was before, of course. And she will never be able to compete with those ones who have never given birth. So, if you are going to be looking at a woman and, if you are going to be looking at physical things, you must be able to receive your wife as a person, as an individual, rather than as a body. If you are just going to you look at her as a body, it's going to break your heart. And if she is looking at herself only as a body also, it's going to break her heart also. So we must look at your wife and at a woman must look at themselves as a human being rather than as body. Because body will change anyway. Either it's going to change when you are giving birth or after you've given birth, or it's going to change one time or the other. So apart from the stretches and the marks and the things like that will happen and will remain after birth, they will remain in your body. The another problem women face is the way their breast. It's difficult to maintain your breast, and especially the shape of the breast after delivery. So and that is another challenge that you have to deal with. So a lot of these things should make a woman to even think before she goes into marriage or to go into any serious relationship. Because these things, if you don't know them, they could break you because they become to you as a shock. That's why you must go into this knowingly, consciously. You must be conscious of what you want and why you want the child, or why the positives and the positives of wanting to have a child, of giving birth to children, must much more overweigh the negatives and the all those things. You must be able to see some more benefit, some greater benefit in what you are getting at the end of the day than in what you are losing. So that's why you must count the cost. And those are some of the things that you have to look at as well. But when you don't know, then it could become like a shock to you, and you just shocked. And some men are not even ready for this, and some of them get shocked. Some of them, like I said, they leave their wives after that, and they go and find another woman or younger woman, and they begin to go out. So because they didn't count the cost, and because they didn't count the cost, and they were not warned that these things are going to happen and that these changes are going to take place after after the birth of the child. So a lot of things to consider when you want to become a married person. And that's why, like I said, like 50% of people, they don't have anything to do with marriage at all. They don't have anything to do with marriage. They shouldn't even look into that direction because they are not fit to cope with it. Now, another question that a man that worry men is, what about sex? What happens to sex after delivery? Look, sex is the last thing on the mind of a woman after she just gives birth. So I personally advise my people here in the church not to even approach their wives with sex or ideas of sex for the next 3 months. Just leave her alone, unless she herself says she's ready. Because a lot of women will be concerned also. They don't want their husband to look somewhere else. So when they begin to recover, they will talk about it maybe. But don't touch her, don't push her, don't even mention that for the next 3 months, I would suggest. But I think it's better to just seek advice from your wife, from your doctor, and let your doctor tell you when is the best time. And then depending on many things also, depending if she had tears or she didn't have, or if she had a cut or she didn't have, if she, or depending on how she went through that, and depending on also the postnatal syndrome she's having, if she's in depression or not, if she's happy or if the birth or delivery was hard or it was simple, all those factors matter. So what are the changes that we could expect after delivery in the life of the woman, and that a man must be ready for, and that a woman also must be ready for? Of course, we all know that when a woman gives birth, she adds weight, which is normal because she's carrying extra 10 kilograms of water, child, blood, and things like that. So that is one thing. She adds weight, and we should get used to that. You should psychologically prepare for that your wife will add some weight, and you be determined to love her ahead of time. In some cases, some women, while they are in labor or after labor, could find out that they develop pile. Is it pile? They are hemorrhoid. They might get hemorrhoid or pile. What do you say it in their they might, things might begin to. They might, and then some of them might they might continue to bleed also after delivery. Some people begin to lose their voice, their ear after birth. Hemorrhoid, yes. Some there's some women that begin to have some changes in their skin, some dots or some deformation of the body, of the skin might happen. And other women might have the dropping of the womb. The womb could drop down. And, it happens to a lot of women. After delivery, the womb comes down. And that could also happen. Okay. Some people might have, is it mastite of the breast, the concussion of the breast, you know, the hardness of the breast. Some people's breasts might just be hard and tough. So that tightening of the muscles of the breast, and that might be a great challenge to get the breast, with the milk out. Of course, some things that some women really get troubled about is the fact that their breast drops drastically, and especially because the child is pulling it and feeding and all that. So, and like the stretches that I spoke to you about. Another problem is they lose a lot of what do you call it? Calciums. Yeah, the women during birth lose a lot of calcium, and as a result of the loss of calcium, they might be losing their teeth as well. And so especially people who are giving birth to 2 or 3 children, the teeth could be dropping off. After 4 children, especially after 5 children. So because it's connected to the calcium loss. So a lot of things that we need to, so you have to count the cost. Both men and women have to count the cost of if we are ready to pay the price of having, children or not, and when you are ready to do that. So anyway, Patty Bafu said brain cells too, yeah. Well, let me see some of the things that you people are writing, because our time is almost coming to an end. I hope these classes were a blessing to you guys. This is just the process of giving birth. Now I will begin maybe from this evening what we need to do to begin to what now has to be done to begin to raise up the children. Now that we are giving birth to the children, now we have to learn how to take care of the children and develop the children. Agape said, good morning, everyone. Baba, me, I don't finish with pregnancy 14 years ago, but I will listen to it later. Okay. Love you. Regards to our teacher, Sunday. Shioma is saying most people should stop getting married and focus on their purpose. Oh, yes. Yes, because they don't even understand what marriage means. A lot of people have misunderstanding of marriage. People are supposed to put their priority as their calling first. Fola Shade said, Pastor Sunday made me to realize more than ever that I never had a marriage at all. What a big shame. That was not a marriage she had, yeah. Shioma is saying, God bless you, Pastor, for sharing this. I'm so angry with my husband after my second, I was so angry with my husband after my second baby because he was not there and I almost lost my life in that labor. God delivered me through the expertise of the foreign doctor. Wow. Sincerely, if it was in Nigeria, it would have been a different story. We have gone past the situation now, but it was not a good experience. Yeah, that's why husbands must be there. Paul David said, no matter what the differences may be, no matter what the relationship may hold, a man should forgo it all for the communion of labor, to be there during the labor of the wife. Yeah. Please go and share the link. If you have not shared this message, yes, I think we should all share the message, because this might be very helpful to some couples or future couples. Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, if all men are like you, the world will be a better place for women. God bless you for this teaching. For last shot, they said, what a waste of time. Give yourself that doesn't deserve your own second of your life, well-informed information. Our children will choose well, deserve husband. Okay, I think she's trying to say that don't waste your life with a husband that is not that does not deserve it. It's better to give yourself to the very best. Princess Ade is saying, oh my God, Pastor, you are so loaded. Thank you. Omonika said, Pastor Sunday, all what you are teaching today, may our men, including the chronic African men, be able to do them in Jesus' name. Yeah. Shioma, Pastor, some men abandoned the lady after birth because of the hospital bills. A certain man ran away after he was informed that his wife had a cesarean section. Wow. T.Y., you are such a darling, Dr. Adelaja. Feel like giving you a big hug for what you are giving to your wife. Good man. Fumi Jeboda, I told you ladies, God has to replicate men like Dr. Adelaja for us. We must not stop to bombard heaven until this happens. Is it heaven you need to bombard or to spread the teaching? I think I think people need to be taught. People have been praying in churches all these years. Nothing has changed now. Kola Adetola said, Abrahamic blessings are mine and my children's. Bless them from birth and daily when you put oil on their head, when all your children get awards and do well in school. Fumi said, I always say if men were to get pregnant, the world population would be less, in 1,000 times less. They will co-parent one child between two countries. Sandra, it's not easy at all. For instance, I have 4-month-old baby now and I breastfeed throughout exclusive, no good sleep and other stuff. Woman, God bless you all for your sacrifice. Joy says, I have learned a lot today. I wish I knew this before. I will have to keep this message for my kids. To prophesy over your newborn child is really an eye-opener for me. Wow, Pastor Sunday, you are just too much in every topic. Elizabeth said, Pastor, I grew up fast as a woman. When I had my son, no mother, no sister, no friend, nobody was there. Wow. Deborah says, postnatal makes some women go to even deeper depression. Yeah, that's why the men must be there to help. Shiga said it was God good because they all needed it all. Imagine, okay, I didn't get that. Elizabeth says, I wanted to go crazy a few months after giving birth because, Pastor, some women don't recover from that pain forever. Yeah. Ufoma said a roommate in the university lost her voice totally during delivery. Her voice came back. Her voice became that like that of a man. Every time she is coming into the hostel, everyone runs to hide, thinking a man has come to the hostel. Wow, it was not funny at all. She said it was because of childbirth. TY says, stretch marks on the stomach. I learned it the hard way. My doctor said to use loads of oil on my stomach. I did not now have stretch marks on my tummy and don't like it. Took a while to get over it. You are so right. The price you pay for pregnancy is huge. TY, my mentor, you did a whole lot of research on this topic. Outstanding details. Awesome, sir. I didn't even do any research. Just from experience. Didn't do any research. Just what I went through. I'm just very observant, I guess. I notice, pay attention to details, and come to conclusion. I learn lessons. Mashu Esom, wow, Pastor, you are going through the details as if you are a woman. Thank you for talking about this. Women go through a lot, and some of our men have no idea. I hope the men here will understand and do the right thing for their wives. Evangelist Moji, God bless you for this teaching, Pastor. This is the most delicate period in the life of every woman. Women always have slight depression. I have gone down into postpartum depression after my last baby. It is not easy to deal with it. So please guide yourself and your wife against these things. Darling Madu, sir, some women will tell you that you have not given birth yet because you go through C-section and not tear delivery. What do you have to say about it? Have you understood my question? Yeah, I understand the question. But you should also tell them that they have not gone through cesarean section yet, so they don't know what that means also. Every delivery is having its own trial and its own challenge. Don't listen to anybody. It's a whole different trial also to go through cesarean section. Winifred said, when I had my fourth child, I had postpartum depression. I was rushed into the emergency room. Wow, it was stressful for me. I went through MRI and series of scans. I was told I had brain tumor and needed operation urgently. I was given steroids through intravenously. My BP shot up. By His grace, I summoned up courage, told them to discontinue their treatment, and as God will have it, ever since I have been hale and healthy. God bless. Glory to God. Wow. Sheung Oluwatope said, what will break your heart is to look at your wife as a body and not having a holistic view of a person. Usually after childbirth, anticipate a bodily change ranging from stretch marks to protruding belly. You should envisage the changes and remind yourself, man is a spirit being. Deborah, some men are not kind to their wives when their wife refuses them sex after birth. They will threaten to go out and look for another woman. Wow. For Lasha, they said, this our mentor is loaded, though, full of knowledge, wisdom, and sound mind. God bless you. Olukayode, when a man is fully involved with activities as this suggested by Pastor Sunday, even the urge for sex will faint for some months. The sympathetic mode will play a great role in his feelings. These are things less than 5% of men concern themselves with. Yeah. Oluwafumilayo say, wow, you have stepped into the shoes of a professional pastor. Thank God for your life. You have done justice to this topic. Very exemplary, explanatory, and detailed. God bless you, sir. More understanding and knowledge in Jesus' name. Anastasia, thank you, Pastor, for continually empowering us with kingdom principle. We honor you, sir. Esther Kuganja, thank you, Pastor. You have no idea what kind of help and foundation you are giving to most of us. Big hugs. Deborah, some women have a lover instead of a husband. Pathetic. I'm ashamed of the men that have no clue what women go through. Dr. Adelaja, you are a gem. Thank you very much for enlightening our minds. Ufoma, our lives are better by your teachings. We wish we knew a lot better now, but things are getting better every day. Thank you so much, Pastor. Much love and respect. Okay, Ruka, thanks so much, Pastor, for this teaching. I'm really blessed. I just gave birth 2 weeks ago, so all you are saying is very true. Wow, yeah, you can attest. Dorothy Dora. Okay, Pastor, thought you did a research. That is God wisdom right there. I never knew there are men like this on planet Earth. Anastasia, having learned about preparation from Pastor Sunday on different topics, I charge to get wisdom and understanding for us who have entered our 50s, looking after our health and mind. Yeah. Jude Craig, thank you, Dr. Adelaja, for bringing this all-important topic into the public Christian domain. Men need to be aware that childbirth is a very risky process and all women must be handled delicately before, during, and after the process. God bless you, sir. Well, thank God. I hope you people are blessed, and I hope it will go a long way to blessing a lot of you. Let's share the link. Let's share the message. Let's spread the word. God bless. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the evening.